Hello everyone, welcome to the last chapter of this module. So in this chapter we are going to see about the history of JavaScript, how it has evolved and what is the current version which is going on now. Uh, so in this we'll see a lot of information about JavaScript and you'll be knowing which version you have to learn and what are the updates you have to keep in mind. Also, what are the tools which we are using so far to convert the latest versions and how browsers are adapting for themselves while a new version is released. Okay, so previously a language called LiveScript was around with the developers for more than a couple of years. Um, so in the year of 1996, LiveScript got changed to JavaScript. So previously LiveScript was there, then it got moved to JavaScript. What is the reason for changes? At that time, Java was one of the main languages in the IT industry. So to just to get the audience or lure the people into the scripting language, people have made LiveScript renamed to JavaScript. This is just a marketing strategy. It has nothing to do with the Java. So people who are from Java background would be more cautious about this thing because it has nothing to do with the Java programming language. So in 1997, people of the JavaScript, I mean the developers who developed JavaScript and the IT people, they wanted to have a standard for JavaScript. So they have a language, but they wanted to have a standard which is predefined for JavaScript. So they submitted their code to organization called as ECMA, ECMA. So ECMAScript, sorry, uh, it has then named from JavaScript to ECMAScript with IT nerds, but still it was in the name of JavaScript only. But IT nerds used to call it as ECMAScript. So ECMAScript was the standardized form of JavaScript, and it was also renamed as ES1. I mean, the version for JavaScript was given as ES1. So this standard language for the JavaScript is called as ECMAScript, and the practice, I mean, the normal term which we are using to refer the scripting language is called as the JavaScript. So mostly we in this course we prefer the name JavaScript rather than calling it as ECMAScript. So then onwards, uh, this was 1997. So beware of that. So then onwards, ECMAScripts started understanding the JavaScript code and they started giving the releases for JavaScript. Okay, so this is where the JavaScript language started to grow on its own, as well as the community started getting bigger. So after releasing ES1 in 1997, ES1 was released in 1997. So the major breakthrough in the JavaScript industry was ES5, which came with a lot of features and all the drawbacks in the JavaScript code was addressed. So almost JavaScript has become a perfect language for everyone to use. This was released in the year 2009. So this has made lots and lots of changes, and JavaScript has been adapted into several platforms. For now, we are pretty much comfortable with the browser, but JavaScript still can run in all the other mediums also. Like it can run in server in the form of Node, and it can be used in networking. And there are processes which have been introduced which accept JavaScript as its languages also. So as we have already seen, JavaScript can be used to ready a OS. We can prepare a tool from a JavaScript code and so many things. So ES5 was the most important reason for having JavaScript as a main language here. Okay. Then after 6 years, ES6 got released. So this is where our fun begins. Okay, this in the year of 2015, ECMA people released a version called as ES6. So there are two ways to call this. You can call this as ES6 or ECMA 2015. They have renamed the convention. Previously it was the convention of ES1, ES2, ES3, ES4, ES5, ES6, but once the 2015 came, they started naming it as ECMA 2015 because this has become our annual release now. So then onwards they are releasing um, every year they are releasing something in JavaScript with minor changes and fixing the already existing bugs and releasing patches and other new features into the JavaScript language. So every year we get one ECMA package. 2016 is there, 2017, and every year we are going to get this. So this is where we have to concentrate more, ES5 and ES6. Why? Because just consider a version ES1. So, okay, so you are writing a code in ES1 in the year of 1997. Chrome people comes and attends the ACMA conference and they are updating their engine. Just consider a browser not coming to the conference and you can't run your code in IE because the JavaScript engine will not accept or will not understand what you are writing. This is how every release will happen. I mean, if ACMA is going to make a release, there will be a conference held. People from all the browsers, all the major browsers, and they will understand. I mean, go for the conference and they will understand what are the new features, and they will start developing their JavaScript engine to accept or understand those features. This is how each and every feature and each and every version of JavaScript has been understood by the browser. So let's come back to what we have seen. In ES5 it got released in 2007, and within a couple of years all the browsers like um Chrome, IE, and Mozilla Firefox and all the other browsers, they started accepting ES5. So they have made their browsers to work on ES5. So when on 2015 when ES6 got released, this was with so many major features and this was one of the biggest update in the industry so far. Okay, so the problem with the browsers is still they haven't not fully accepted ES6. Still they haven't made their JavaScript engine to work or to understand ES6 features. So in that case, that is also in 2015, but after this 4 years of uh, after the release of ES6, still all the browsers are not accepting all the features from ES6. After that also we got ECMA 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 too. All these versions will not be supported by the new browsers, or mostly not by the old browsers. Just consider, if you are running ES6 code in IE8 or IE7, obviously it is going to fail. So there are some versions of browsers which understands the latest code, and also there are some browsers which will not understand the latest code. In our case, I'm just saying ES6 itself a modern code because even the browsers are not being updated to accept those codes. To find that, we have a website called as Can I Use. So just go to the website. This gives you the whole highlights on which you have to use and which you should not use. For example, if you're looking for something called as a spread operator, in ECMA 6 it got released. So green is saying it is fully supported, yellow is saying it is partial support, and red is no support. Just consider what are the things which are not supported. I mean, IE 6 to 10, it is not supporting spread operator. So if you are going with IE 11, it is still a partial support. But if you go for Edge or Chrome, after 15.7 and 51.74, it accepts spread operator. So that's how you have to see if your code wants to be run in all the browsers. You have to check this. I mean, whether your code will be run here. Let us check. If what about the var keyword? CSS variables, CSS font alternatives, var 17 results found. Let's variable fonts is there. Custom variables. Okay, and yeah, we have CSS variables also called as var. It is also giving I mean, which browser will be supported and which will not be supported. Okay, so likewise we have show all 10. Let's look for our JavaScript var. Okay, so we have let here. Let will be dealt in the future future modules. Why don't I find var here? 17 results. Yep, 17 is there. Variable font, CSS variables, CSS font, CSS 2.1, HTML4, CSS feature policy, URL API. Okay, let is there, but var is not given. That's fine. Okay. So hopefully all the browsers support var, I guess. So that's the reason it is not shown here. Maybe I'll look for some other about a map keyword. Okay, so this is the flat and flat map in array methods. It is not even supported in till 68 version of Chrome. So this is somewhat very new feature in JavaScript which is not accepted. Okay, so that's how you have to check whether your browser is going to support or not. Okay, so and I'll come and talk about the JavaScript engines here. So each browser has its own JavaScript engine. For example, for Chrome we have V8 JavaScript engine, and for IE we have Chakra, and we have SpiderMonkey. For Mozilla, likewise we have so many JavaScript engines. So for every JavaScript release, you have to update the company has to update its own JavaScript engine so that it can understand. In this process, Chrome seems to be much faster when comparing with IE. That's the reason people are not using IE the most. Okay, so that is one thing you have to be very cautious. You have to go and check whether the keyword which I'm using is supported in all the browsers. In that case only you have to go and use it. Okay, so let's come to the next point. What if I'm using something which got released in ES6? For that we have a set of things called as transpilers. What the transpiler does is okay, so it is just giving Babel is a very good transpiler here. What Babel does is Babel takes your latest JavaScript code and it converts your latest code into ES5 code that will be understandable by all the browsers. Okay, so just consider this scenario. You are writing a code in ES6 or ES7. It runs in Chrome, but it fails in IE. So what should I do? You have to, with the help of Babel, we'll see that in future how to use Babel. With the help of Babel, you have to make that code. Make that code in the sense you have to transpile that code from ES6 or ES7 into ES5. So if in that case ES5 is supported in all the browsers, so obviously it is going to run. That is how we have to use Babel type of transpilers to convert the code from one version to another, or even you can convert a code from one structure to another structure. For example, you can convert a TypeScript code into JavaScript code. we'll deal about the TypeScript at the bonus section of this JavaScript course module. Okay, that's how a set of different versions of code gets converted into the base version. Okay, so ES6 is very much important here. So ES6 or ES 2015 we can say. Okay, so after this that ES6 got released, we have annual release cycle, that is every 1 year there will be a JavaScript. Okay, so we had releases for 2016, 2017, 2018, and even on 2019, which is called as ES 2016, ES 2017, ES 2018, and ES 2019. Okay, so far what we have seen is ES5 is ready, and it is good to use in all browsers. So ES5 all browsers, and ES6 partial support, but it is getting better. So I mean the browsers are getting itself modified for accepting the ES code. Okay, then we have ES7, very less support here, and after that ES8 and ES9 both are both got released, but ES8 is somewhat supported when compared with ES9 and the latest ES7 and ES8. We can say it is very less support. After that we have ES9, but now people used to call it as ES next. After all the versions so far, ES9 and ES10, that is the current version running now, ES10, which people used to call it as ES next, is very very minimal support. So our safest bet is to work on ES6 or ES5. Our best bet is to work on ES5, because ES5 is only understandable by all the browsers, and ES6 is somewhat partial support. Okay, so then rises a new question: which version are we using? For learning this course, we are using ES5. So this is the base version we are using. Then why not ES6, you could ask? Because ES6 adds in most of the places, ES6 adds an abstraction over it. Abstraction in the sense it wraps up ES5 with some more what do you say, wrapper over that, so that code will be somewhat simple. But in turn what happens, we are losing um, our basic understanding how JavaScript works. Obviously, it is going to work with the help of ES6 also, but we'll not see how that works. To understand the JavaScript fully, we are learning JavaScript with the help of ES5 only. Okay, then you might be asking, will I learn ES6 also? Obviously, we'll be learning ES6 too, as well as ES7, ES8, and ES next functions and methods too. But to understand JavaScript 5, we usually prefer, and I also recommend learning ES5 first, because most of the examples in internet and the blogs you read, and even you might be getting a chance to work with the JavaScript on your already written code, most of the places it will be ES5 only. Okay, so that's the reason we are learning ES5. So we are going to do projects based on ES5. Also, once we have completed that project and we are confident on ES5, we'll see what are the patches and what are the updates that have been made on ES5 to convert that to ES6. Also, we are going to do a separate project only based on ES6. So at the end of this course, you will be understanding all the concepts in ES5 and ES6, also some of the ES7, 8 and ES next latest features also. So we are going to do projects based on all the versions of JavaScript. But I would recommend you guys to code along with me so that you will first understand what AS5 is, so that you will understand the basics of JavaScript. Once we are very strong with the basics of JavaScript, then it is no hard to learn the other updated versions of JavaScript. So that's all a bit theory from the versions of JavaScript and how it has evolved from 1996 to till date, and what is the current version and what are the versions so far released, and uh, some details about the annual releases and current version, what is existing, and in what version we are learning, and what are the updates we are going to do. So I have explained all these things. So far we have learned all the basics and stuffs to write a to complete a project from start to end. But I'm more interested in giving these details to you so that you will be having a clear cut confidence and clear cut idea on what you are learning, on which version of JavaScript you are learning, because these are all very important interview questions. And in the next module, it is also going to be a full theory part in which we are going to see how JavaScript works behind the scenes. I am more stressing on this point because I need you guys to understand um, how JavaScript works behind the scene, and how browser understands, and how each and every variable functions and everything is called. Because once you understand that, you will understand the code better. So once you are confident with how JavaScript works in the background, then you will not be having a hard time finding whether my variable is called, why I'm getting undefined. You will not be having any problems over this. Okay. So once we have completed that module also, which is going to be a lots and lots of theory, then we'll move on to the next part, in which we'll see so many coding challenges and a very big project we are going to build. It's going to be a budget app uh, on which we'll see how we can handle our monthly spends and expenditures and other stuffs. But before going to the project, we'll see how JavaScript works behind the scenes. That will be covered in the next module. Thanks for watching this module. Thanks a lot, guys.